Yo, what is going on, Gamehouse? I am Germ here. We are back once again today talking about another off-meta pick, another off-meta strategy, another interesting build that we're going to be breaking down, explaining how it works and how hopefully you guys can take something like this and go make it work in your own games, go gain some LP of your own, and even if you don't want to try it out, if you don't want to play it, if it's not your vibe or whatever, you'll at least know how to better understand it. So maybe if you run into it or need to play against it, you can still understand what's going on and not be caught off guard. Today, we are talking about, as you can see, Yone in the top lane. Nothing too crazy there. Maybe a little spicy, a little bit interesting. You know, he's a fun champion. He does some crazy stuff. But we're actually talking about tank Yone. As we pick up the first blood there, we do go down, but we got the first blood. We got the plus 100. And the player we're looking at today in the top lane, the guy we're watching on our screen right now, is Blabberfish2. This is obviously the jungler for Cloud9. He is not a top laner, but he is an absolute psychopath. He loves playing aggressive. He loves being in your face. He loves playing these outplay champions. You know, Yone seems very, very much like his vibe, but he also likes some interesting strategies, some interesting picks, some interesting builds, and he's pulling out the tank Yone in the top lane. This is also a build that I saw JoJo pull out in the LCS this past weekend. That's what kind of got this build on my radar. It's why I wanted to dive into it. And honestly, I do love, you know, looking at off-meta picks and builds and stuff all the time. I'm always trying to stay up to date on all the latest strategies and everything. And this was something that never really came up on my radar. I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know that people were playing this. But after I saw JoJo pull it out, I started diving into it more. And yes, there are a lot of high elo Yones and a lot of Yone one tricks and stuff that I actually think that this is a pretty strong build and like to pull this out. Maybe not every game, but situationally, I do think that this can be a very, very strong build. So first, let's take a look at the rune page and see what's going on here. Pretty standard. This is Lethal Tempo, Lethal Tempo Yone with Triumph, with Legend Alacrity, and with Cutdown, or with Last Stand, not Cutdown, but these are all pretty good precision runes, pretty standard stuff, pretty normal. I think most Yone builds are going to be going those four. I don't really think there's anything else that you can go that's going to be all that good. You could maybe argue like Legend Tenacity or something like that, but Legend Alacrity is just so good on Yone. I think it's the way you have to go. And then Resolve Secondary is also very, very standard. He is going with Bone Plating and Overgrowth, which I think is fine. They're both very, very good. I do think Shield Bash can be spicy and can potentially be pretty good on Yone. Obviously, you get the shield from your W. You're going to be doing a little bit of extra damage there. There are some people who go conditioning as well, but I think conditioning's been nerfed pretty substantially recently, so maybe that's not really the way to go anymore. Bone Plating and Overgrowth do seem fine, though. You can see he's going the attack speed, the adaptive force, and the armor as well. He's against Aurelia, so obviously that's going to be working out well. In this game, he's getting a lot of jungle attention. Not really ideal. On Yone, you do want to be going a little bit more aggressive and stuff. And yeah, you are going to be susceptible to some ganks because you don't have a lot of mobility. You have the E, which is going to make you, you know, dashing around. You're going to be running around and stuff, but you're always going to be snapping back to that soul. And then you're just going to kind of be a sitting duck. Yes, when you have your Q, you have a dash and stuff, but it's not going to be all that useful. So next, we can talk about the skill order real quick. This is just going to be a Q, W, E at level 1, 2, and 3. He's going to be maxing Q, maxing E, maxing W. Again, very, very standard Yone stuff. Nothing too spicy there. We're not getting too crazy. But where we start talking about the real interesting stuff is with the build. It's with the items. Here we go. This is Doran's Blade start with a pot. Normal. He's going into the Blade of the Ruin King first item. He does finish the Berserker Greaves first. Berserker Greaves are super, super good on Yone. Pretty much any build with Yone, you're probably want to be finishing the Berserker Greaves first. If you're finishing them around 10 minutes, before 10 minutes, that's going to be very, very strong. It's kind of disgusting, this champ, but yes, Berserker Greaves are a power spike, like a mini power spike in a way for Yone. But first item, Blade of the Ruin King. Yes, I know, I said we're going tank, but you have to be able to do some kind of damage. And this whole build is kind of built around the idea that Blade of the Ruin King is going to be your damage. That is how you are going to be dealing damage with this build. If we read Blade of the Ruin King, it's going to deal damage based on the target's health and can steal movement speed, 40 AD, 25% attack speed. You get the 8% life steal, which is going to make you even more unkillable than like a tank build is already going to. But the Miss Edge passive, attacks apply physical damage based off the target's current health. So you don't even need to build damage. You are going to be dealing damage based on their current health. That's obviously why Blade of the Ruined King is just really good in general, but it's also why Blade of the Ruined King can be really, really good on tank builds, because you're going to get tanky, you're going to have resistances, you're going to have health, but you're still going to have that Blade of the Ruined King doing that current health damage, which is going to be very, very strong. And then, of course, attacking a champion 3 times is going to deal magic damage, steal their move speed, so you're going to be doing even more damage there. From the Blade of the Ruined King, we're going pretty much full kind of fighter tank from there. We're going into the Sunfire Aegis. Now, Sunfire Aegis is an item that we have seen on a lot of assassins and more damage-oriented champions as of late. I know we went through the tank Diana, we went through the tank Yi phase, all this stuff. Riot has nerfed a lot of that, but that doesn't mean it's weak. That doesn't mean it's unplayable. If we look at the Sunfire Aegis, you're getting a ton of health, armor, magic resist, you're getting ability haste, but then taking or dealing damage causes you to begin dealing damage per second to nearby enemies with that Immolate passive. Damaging champions or epic monsters with this effect adds a stack, increasing subsequent Immolate damage. And then your Flame Touch is that at maximum Immolate stacks, your attacks burn nearby enemies for your Immolate damage per second. So that is going to be making you tankier. You're going to be more unkillable with the health, with the damage, or with the resistances. You're going to be getting some ability haste too, which is really, really good on Yone. Getting more W's off. It's just going to be more shielding, more annoyance. But you're also going to be doing more damage with that, with the Immolate stacks and with the passives of Sunfire Aegis. Now, most people are going Sunfire Aegis, and it seems good. Like, this isn't a troll build. Like, if you look at the win rates on U.GG or something, this has an above 50% win rate. This does seem like a playable build. It seems like a good build. I will say that it does seem better when you have like an enchanter support or something like that, or some kind of enchanter on your team. Maybe it's a Karma mid, maybe it's a Seraphine mid, maybe it's a Seraphine AD carry. But if you have Soraka, Lulu, Yumi, one of these other things, I think that's going to make this build a lot better. That's going to make you even more unkillable. That's going to allow you to get even more spell rotations off. You're going to be doing even more of that. But just by itself, I think this build is fine. It's probably even good. I don't know if it's better than the Shield Bow crit build, but if you add an enchanter onto your team, I think it is very, very possible that this build could become better. Again, you're going to be doing tons of damage with these items still. You're going to be tankier, but then you still have your ult to like lock people up. You're going to be able to have good engage as Yone as well, and then you're just going to be really, really sticky and annoying. But the other option is going Frostfire Gauntlet as well. Frostfire Gauntlet actually has the higher win rate on Yone as the tank item. So Sunfire Aegis, that's kind of what everybody's going. I think that's fine. I think it's good. But I think Frostfire Gauntlet might be better, for sure in certain situations, but it might just be blanket better than Sunfire Aegis as well. Then you're going into a Death's Dance. Again, more AD. You're getting some armor, some ability haste. Damage taken is dealt to you over time instead. That's going to make you survive even more longer, even more annoying. And then Blabber decides to go into a Wit's End here, but you can go a lot of different items as well. You're going to have some options, but you're trying to get tanky. You're trying to have more survivability, and you're trying to do more damage over time by being alive rather than just trying to explode people and one-shot them right away. This does seem like a very, very unique build. It seems like an interesting strategy, and it seems like a frustrating one to play against, because you see a Yone, you know he's about to one-shot your whole team. You know he's about to be super, super annoying, so you're going to try and kill him as fast as you can. You're going to try and focus him down. But when he's tankier than you expect, you might blow some cooldowns on him. He might live, and then he might still end up killing your backline all the same. Again, I think this is actually a pretty good build right now. I don't think this is troll. I don't think this is just like for fun or anything like that. I actually think this is a build you can play and can win games on. Again, Blabber's having a kind of a tough time in this one, but I wouldn't necessarily blame it on the build. Tank Yone is something I definitely think you guys should try out, have some fun with. Maybe win some LP, maybe climb up the ranks. I don't know, but in some ways this is probably easier to pull off too. Obviously, when it's harder to die, you're going to be more forgiving on a champion like Yone, which a lot of people are going to be making mistakes on and stuff. People want to do some crazy Qs, some crazy Es, miss their ult. Well, hey, if they can't blow you up instantly, you're going to have a chance to make up for some of those mistakes. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about Tank Yone. Again, this can be played in the top lane or in the mid lane. Subscribe to stay up to date on all the Game House's latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.